The Girl with the Lantern. A story about silence, trust, and the thin line between waiting and believing. Part 1, Marta's Map. The first time the lights went out, Marta was coloring a map of Ukraine in a half-empty classroom. She liked maps. They were the only things that stayed still. Her colored pencil had just reached the edge of Dnipro when everything snapped off, the overhead lights, the hallway buzz, the heater's breath. The room didn't go dark, not really. But it went quiet in a way that felt permanent. That was 2 weeks ago. Now, the school basement had become home to 29 people, 3 of them under 5. It was not meant for that. Mattresses were pieced from old jackets. Curtains made from flags. Buckets near the walls, just in case. And Marta, 12, slept near the back, not because it was safe, but because it was far from the stairs. She didn't like stairs anymore. She had with her 3 things. A small green lantern. Square, plastic, with a yellow button and battery tape on the bottom. A photo of her brother, Kirill, holding their dog Tozik, taken 6 months before he'd vanished. A folded paper, half map, half list, written in her own strange code. On the back of the map, in small pencil letters. If you have to go, don't look back. I'll leave signs. Signed, K. He had left during the first drone attack. Tozik had bolted during the sirens, and Kirill, instead of hiding, had run after the dog. I'll be 5 minutes, he'd said. 5 minutes turned into 2 weeks. And Marta, who used to talk non-stop, now barely whispered. Part 2, Light and Dust. The lantern wasn't bright, not anymore. But it still worked. Still clicked when you pressed the button. Still glowed warm, not white, like an old flashlight from a 90s movie. Each night, Marta clicked it on and aimed it at the ceiling, not in anyone's face, not to show off. Just upward. Just enough to say something without saying anything. The little ones stopped crying when she did it. The older ones stared into the glow like they could find some memory trapped inside. Marta never said who the light was for. But in her mind, she whispered the same phrase each night. If you can see it, come back. Not even a prayer. Just instructions. The adults noticed, but didn't interfere. Only one of them, Ol, a nurse from Zaporizhia, sometimes leaned over and asked. Still no word from him? Marta would shake her head, and Ol would press a folded candy into her palm. Not for eating, just to hold. That night, the basement buzzed with anxiety. There were rumors of new evacuations. A truck that had made it through the Eastern Road. A bridge that hadn't yet collapsed. People whispered plans. Packed too early. Started hoping too loudly. Marta didn't trust hope that arrived on someone else's schedule. She only trusted the plan on the back of her map. And her lantern. Part 3, The Man with Quiet Shoes. He came just after sunset. Everyone else was already huddled, wrapped in blankets or silence. The stairs creaked once. Then twice. Then stopped. The man stood at the entrance, tall and wrong-looking, not threatening, just out of place. His coat didn't match. His boots were wrong. No backpack. No mud. Clean cuffs. People watched him for a long time before someone, probably Ol, asked. You military? He shook his head. No. Just walking. Someone muttered, You'll get shot walking like that. He nodded like he agreed. Then sat. Far corner. Silent. Still. Marta didn't trust him. But she didn't look away, either. She noticed strange things. He never asked for food. His eyes never scanned the exits. And once, when the lantern flickered during the night, he looked up with a face like he already knew it would. Part 4, Messages that aren't messages. 2 nights later, the man sat near Marta. He didn't ask permission. Didn't speak at first. Just watched the green glow of the lantern as if it were a fire he hadn't seen in years. Then, softly. "That's a good one. Soviet plastic. Durable. Yours?" Marta nodded slowly. "From someone important?" She didn't answer. "Still missing?" She looked at him. His face didn't flinch. Just waited. "He left signs," she said at last. "Symbols. But I don't know where they go." The man reached into his coat and pulled out something wrapped in cloth. Unwrapped it gently. A small civilian radio, boxy, old, analog dials. Some signs aren't on maps. Some travel through air. He held it out. "It's tuned already. You'll know if it speaks to you." Marta didn't take it. Not right away. She stared at the box. Listened to the soft hum. It wasn't a sound exactly. More like a memory that vibrated just beneath your skin. She reached for the earpiece. Placed it into her ear. Waited. Nothing. Then static. Then. "Lantern girl, you're close." The girl with the lantern. Part 5, The Symbols of Fog. Marta didn't sleep that night. The radio lay on her chest, warm from the battery. She replayed the whisper in her head again and again. "Lantern girl, you're close." She didn't imagine it. Couldn't have. The voice was his, not her brother's exactly, but someone who knew him. Someone who'd walked the same places. Someone still out there. By dawn, she'd made her decision. She waited until Ole was changing bandages in the far room. Until the adults argued softly about train schedules. Until the youngest kids were still half asleep and mumbling in dreams. Then Marta packed. Just the map. The photo. The lantern. 3 crackers. A scarf. The radio. She tied the scarf like Kirill had taught her, double loop, not under the chin. "Keeps wind out, but lets sound in," he'd said. She clicked the lantern once. The light buzzed low. Then she climbed the 24 steps and walked into the fog. The city was a shell. No cars moved. No birds. No shouting. Only the sound of her shoes on broken gravel and the low hum of air sirens far, far away. She followed the signs. A string tied to a post. A soda can wedged between bricks. An X drawn in chalk on a drainpipe. They weren't obvious. Weren't meant for anyone but her. Each sign whispered. "Keep going. You're almost there." At one point, the fog thickened so much she couldn't see her hands. She stopped. Panicked. Turned on the radio. Static. Then a knock. Soft. Dull. Then. 3 knocks means stop. Count to 30. Then listen. She closed her eyes. Counted. 28. 29. 30. Then heard it. A low whistle. Just 3 notes. Like Kirill used to do to call Tozik home. Part 6, The Place Between Maps. She found him near the edge of the city, just past the old power station, beneath a concrete overpass where someone had painted the word, "Here," in white spray. Kirill was thinner. Tired. But whole. He wasn't surprised. He stood slowly, the dog wagging its tail beside him, and said, "You figured it out." Marta couldn't speak. She just held up the lantern, eyes wide, breath catching in her throat. He laughed. That same old laugh, even if it was quieter now. "I left too fast," he said. "Didn't think you'd follow. Didn't think you'd trust the signs." She stepped forward. hugged him hard. The lantern clicked off in her hand. The battery finally died. They sat under the overpass for a long time, dog pressed between them. Marta told him everything. About the school. The shelter. The man with the quiet boots. Kirill's eyes darkened when she mentioned the radio. I didn't send that message, he said quietly. But someone else is watching. They helped me too. Marta nodded. She believed it. Epilogue, The Lantern Code. Months later, in another part of the country, Marta and Kirill helped lead quiet evacuations. No uniforms. No loud voices. Just maps, symbols, and whispers. They taught kids how to tie scarf knots that let the wind in. How to follow signs. How to listen to silence that isn't empty. And sometimes, when fog rolled in, they'd light a small green lantern from a fresh battery and leave it near a train station or bus stop. Not for light. But for the message inside it. If you can see this, you're not alone. Candle the end.